But to top off this podcast, we will go through our predictions. And I have mentioned, if you've somehow watched every single one of our videos this week, then you will know that I have previously mentioned that my picks, Super Bowl picks for this year, are Philadelphia Eagles losing in the championship to the Buffalo Bills. And that's my prediction for the end of this year. I think both teams just have way too much talent. As I said before, experience. And it just looks – both of these brackets on either side look like they're set up for these teams to finally break free. There's no 49ers to scare or I should say, no, they wouldn't be the 49ers. With this Eagles team, I feel like they're matched up. They match up well against these other teams. I feel like they match up well talent-wise, even with a team that's loaded like the Lions. And on the other side, the Bills. I just think this is the year. I think that there are vulnerabilities among every other team, and Josh Allen has consistently gotten better. This defense has improved, and they feel like they're ready to win. I mean, they feel like a team that's ready. Obviously, it's going to come down to them realistically going to Arrowhead and finally slaying that dragon of Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, Travis Kelce, and the Red Kingdom there in Kansas City. But those are my picks, and I'm not going to apologize for them. Bills over Eagles. Book it. What are your thoughts, Mike? Turtle, what are your thoughts?
Thank you. I was waiting there. Can't get to your question. So, all right. So my picks are the Baltimore Ravens will be my pick out of the AFC. You talk about a team that gave Kansas City its run for its money last year at Arrowhead and arguably should have won the game had Zay Flowers not fumbled on the goal line. I think the Baltimore Ravens get their revenge and will be the AFC representative in the Super Bowl. NFC, my pick is the Detroit Lions. I don't think there's any team that's as together as the Detroit Lions. Even despite the injuries, I think they play as a team, and they are getting David Montgomery back supposedly. So that is a big add. And in that Super Bowl, I will be picking the Baltimore Ravens to beat the Detroit Lions. I think they're a slightly more complete team than Detroit with Detroit's injuries. I think that's enough for Detroit to get through the NFC, but not enough to get through Baltimore. And my pick is the Baltimore Ravens to win the Super Bowl.
Give me Lamar over Goff too while we're at it.
Exactly.
Mike, I so rudely interrupted you. Mike, what were you going to say?
No, mine is the exact same. I'm going Baltimore Ravens over the Detroit Lions in the Super Bowl.
You said the Eagles were going to be your pick from the NFC earlier.
Nope.
All right, never mind.
Not going to happen. Not going to happen.
All right.
You lost faith, and you're back to being a Sirianni hater, aren't you?
I'm a Sirianni hater.
You were with me.
Nope. I know. I'm going Ravens over the Lions in the Super Bowl. Lamar Jackson going to be a little too much for what I think is going to be a banged up Detroit defense going in deep into the playoffs. If they get there, it's fire against fire. Bigger flame wins.
Simple as that. Christian, what are your picks?
Yeah, so I'm going to go with the Eagles to make it out of the NFC, and then the AFC, the champs, and the Super Bowl champions as well. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs. They're the champs until they're not the champs anymore.
Boo him, everyone.
They got D-Hop. They got Hollywood Brown. They lost McCole Hardman. Is Juju still on the team? They got Kelce. They got a strong run game with Hunt and Pacheco. This might be the most talented offensive team they've had in the last 2, maybe 3 years. They're going to have a tough challenge against Houston or the Chargers, but I think they're familiar with those teams. And then if they're playing at Arrowhead in the championship game, I'm going to take the Chiefs in Arrowhead every time. And then I think, you're going to see Philly and Kansas City again. Andy Reid's going to dial it up. They're going to win another one. 3 in a row.
I will say they do. They do. You are like a Sith Lord for picking that, but I will say they do. They do. They do turn it up. They do turn it up every time the playoff comes around. It's so annoying because you watch them all year and you're like, this team sucks. They're not as good as everybody thinks they are. And the playoffs come around and you're like, oh damn, they're actually that good every year.
Turtles bias hard is seeing Texans Commanders in the Super Bowl.
Oh, that'd be fun. I guess Tank Dell took some deer antler spray. We trot him out back out there, or all of a sudden Deontay Johnson turns into Andre Johnson. I don't know.
James Pendergast at strong safety.
Yeah, I can play some. I'd be the perfect nickel for D'Amico Ryans. Honestly, I'd just like to play fullback or guard. Actually, you know what? I've been saying that if I was 6 inches taller, I would be the best guard ever. But because I'm 5'6", that kind of takes that away from me. So, yeah, I mean, if they need a guard, they kind of do need a guard. So,
if they need a gunner, call me up.
All right, can we do dark horse pick? If you were to go against the grain, who's the dark horse pick?
In each conference, or
each conference.
Right. Am I crazy to say that? I don't know. The Chargers realistically are not going to win. Are not going to beat the Chiefs in Arrowhead. I don't think it's going to happen.
I feel like they can give the Chiefs a run for their money, but
if they do, I mean, well, like the Chiefs have been beating the Chargers for like since Patrick Mahomes has got there. It's just been. And Travis Kelce just always goes off against the Chargers. It's just been a very I think it's been a Bears-Packers kind of situation. So the Chargers going to Kansas City to face the Chiefs, it's not a great spot for them. But if they did, I just have such a hard time with my theory of defense, QB, coach, and you just mix up those factors and you really consider it. Harbaugh, Herbert, and that stout, solid defense that you know is going to – at the very least, keep them in every game. I got to roll with the Chargers from the AFC. What about you? Who are your AFC picks?
I would go. Mine is Bucks Bills. Bucks Bills.
Bills are in a dark horse.
Yeah. All right. Then Bucks Ravens. Bucks Ravens. No, fuck the Texans. Bucks Ravens. Bucks Ravens in the Super Bowl. Smash mouth.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, I only see 3 teams coming out of the AFC: Baltimore, Buffalo, or Kansas City. But if there were to be a first round upset, I wouldn't be surprised to see Denver shut them down. I mean, the thing also to keep an eye on with the Bills is Josh Allen with the hand injury. Mm-hmm. He started the game week 18, but came out. Obviously, he just did that for starting every game in his career, I think. But ultimately, if his hand is really a problem with that Vance Joseph defense, I mean, who knows? But yeah, I think there's only 3 teams coming out of the AFC.
I have no faith.
I could see honestly, like Minnesota maybe winning 2 games, getting to a championship game.
Maybe if Sam Darnold is able to win that first game, and he's able to get past that. They
still have Justin Jefferson. They still have Jordan.
Right, and they still have Brian Flores, who I think is
Can I revise my dark horse pick one more time?
There's only 14 teams, bro.
Give me the Vikings. Give me the Vikings Broncos.
So now we're back.
What are the odds on FanDuel for that?
Mike and I were sure that the Vikings are going to get it handed to them by McVay and Stafford.
But then fuck it.
Now
they're now they're Super Bowl champs. They will get it handed to them.
Like I said, if Sam Darnold is able to win the first game and they look good and they're able to get it back on track, who knows? Maybe we've seen them play top level teams and contend this year with Sam Darnold at quarterback. I don't want to say they can't do it, but it does feel like if there were a time for the wheels to fall off, it'd be now.
Give me the Texans Packers. All right, Turtle, relax.
I mean, I'm gonna pick the Texans as my dark horse team because I can't pick the first three, and in the AFC, I mean, just by default, I'm gonna pick the Texans. So the Texans are my dark horse in the AFC, and then in the NFC, you know what? It's not gonna be Green Bay. I'm out on Green Bay. You guys touched on Minnesota. I thought about them, but since you guys talked about them a lot, I'm not going to take Minnesota. So that leaves one wild card team left. As
Tampa Bay, you don't like.
It's not Tampa. It's the Washington Commandos.
Commanders.
So we're gonna have Jaden Daniels versus CJ Stroud in this.
Both of them got college football on that day.
This is the multiverse. This is the multiverse Super Bowl where
Caleb
just
Williams
weird.
Salt Bowl.
Yeah.
Caleb Williams being salty as hell.
Yeah. But yeah, I guess that those would be my two crazy picks. Probably high odds on some of these if you wanted to bet
now I'm thinking about
Super Bowl matchup of two teams to win or to
looking juicy.
Definitely.
Texans looking juicy.
Oh gosh, yeah, I kind of like default picks there since I went last, but
you can retire the family bloodline with that one.
Yeah, probably with just like $10 too.
Yeah,
could buy a house with that money probably.
That's why you come to the Bulletin Board Sports Podcast for tips like that from our resident sharps here on the squad.
I've got the script, man. I've got the script.
Yeah.
Telling you, Deontay Johnson just turns into Andre Johnson.
I like that. And then you got Titus Howard and Laramie Tunsil. They'll be carrying Bobby Slowick off the field. It'll be
just wait. Actually, you know what would be great is if the Texans do go on a deep playoff run and the Bears probably still haven't hired a head coach and they're just like, screw it. Bobby Slowick.
Bobby Slowick's the guy.
You're laughing, but you're laughing.
Don't joke. Don't joke. Yeah,
I was gonna say, I know deep down, you know that there's an avenue there.
I can't guarantee that the Bears are going to hire a better coach than Bobby Slowick. It's sad that I can't, but I legitimately can't guarantee that. And here we are. I think Christian and I are going to have to do a full retrospective on the Bears because this is probably the first podcast where we've gone the entire podcast without really mentioning them. Of course, I had to bring up the Packers losing to them because why wouldn't? Of course, I would feel like I have wronged my ancestors if I didn't bring up the first Bears versus Packers win.
And Pat Christian and I saw them play live. It was
worst game of all time.
Worst game.
Yes.
Terrible.
Yes, we did. Yeah, at the Bears Seattle primetime game, witnessed the sell the team chance. But I also want to say Bears
the worst game
first time winning in Lambeau since our senior year of high school. I believe it was the Brett Favre homecoming game where they retired his jersey in Green Bay on Thanksgiving. Tracy Porter had a pick in that game. And that was the last time the Bears would beat the Packers at Lambeau.
Tracy Porter, man.
Yeah, man. It goes back that far.
Was the quarterback Cutler?
Oh yeah. That was Jay Cutler, quarterback at that point.
Wow, man. Now the guy's getting DUIs in Tennessee.
Oh wow. Well, we don't have to
the
talk about the goat for the Bears. Unfortunately, probably is the Bears goat. QB.
Not for long.
I was always more of a Brandon Marshall guy. Yeah, a lot of stand-up guys on that Bears squad.
When we get to off-season preview, I am gonna stake my claim on. I'm still a Caleb Williams defender. So I'm previewing the off-season preview. I'm previewing the off-season preview by saying I'm coming correct about my Caleb Williams